Hello interweb, this is Dannage and it's time for another City Skylines in our UK themed garden city of steps. Okay, I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is that I'm really pleased in how this little park is turning out, and it's in the middle of a UK housing estate. So it is a fairly typical UK housing estate. It's got trees around the outside. I even looked at a map. You know, it was trees and just houses. And that's what we've got. We got a lot of terraced houses, but we've got some nicer sort of semis and some detached houses in there. We've got a couple of blocks of flats as well because we needed more people. We got a high school over there, and we got some facilities around. And this is called the Red Tree Estate because we've put some red trees in it, and we've put few enough red trees, sort of all lined up enough to make them special. So they were obviously deliberately planted. So that's kind of cool. I'm really enjoying this. We've got a mixture of themes here. Most of this is Rick 4000, but we've got Welshman in there as well, and a number of other European things like cars, like smart cars and Beetles and various things that we've got. So it's all looking pretty cool. But we go past the there's still the occasional weird police car. We go past the train tracks, or we go under the train tracks. We go over the highway, which connects back to that. I'm getting more cars on it now. Yeah, that's certainly working. And then over here, we're getting a nice little. Actually, we got we got a retail park. Yeah, we got Argos, we got B&Q, we got Boots. Flipping Rig 4000 has done the entirety of basically most retail parks that we know. So there's lots of places there. We've got an Esso station, we go for an IKEA, we've got multi-story car parks, 4 of them around this sort of area, and it's pretty freaking awesome. We got a travel lodge there, so we now got a hotel for people to stay at. Although there's not nearly enough workers, I've still got 53 jobs available. Come on people, let's hire and let's get in there. Although I've got 53 jobs available and a very high demand and unemployment rate. So we've got a very low turnout for some commercial stuff here. But then that takes us on to the bad news. Yeah, so the bad news is that I have started using this theme manager. But it turns out the theme manager I've completely mucked up. So what I've managed to do is I've managed to actually make it so that all of these residential things are everywhere on the map, even in unzoned areas. And so if I've tried to build an office or any industry anywhere on the map whatsoever, even though I've got maximum thing, nothing's going to build. So I'm actually completely broken my town. All of these were individual sort of ploppable Rico stuff that I've managed to put in, but nothing was actually growing. So what I'm going to do off camera, I'm going to fix this all up, and maybe, just maybe, I'm going to I'm going to get rid of maybe these themes. Oh look, can I delete themes? No, I can't delete themes. God damn. But I could create new themes, and I could create new themes for all of these specific zoned areas, because that was why I was making them. So you've got Manor Hills there, that was called North Park at some point. Let's change that. That was North Park. Yes. Then we've got the Red Tree Estate, and then we've got Brompton Wood, which looks a bit pathetic now with the trees, but maybe we'll put some more of those in when we've built the industry. So I'm going to go off and fix that. Then what I'm going to do is we're going to come back and we are going to build. You can watch me build. How exciting for you. You're going to watch me build a little mine there, a quarry, if you will. Yes, come back momentarily. It will be fun. And so here we go. This is the fun. And I start by removing some areas and basically moving my quarry to another place, or not my quarry so much as the ore. And I'm going to do something I've seen done on YouTube, for I have researched this an entirety of for one video, and that involves doing a big ring road around the outside of the quarry and then lowering the terrain inside the road. The terrain doesn't tend to, you may notice this, it tends to sort of go up to where roads are and then say, I'm not going to move the road, I'm just going to sort of give you a cliff next to it. And Cliff's not very happy with that, but hey. Okay, so we are trying to make the road. Now you'll see the little dividers either side, and those basically give you the sort of border as to where it's going to drive to, where it's going to let you build. And then what you do is you cut that out again, you lower, and you basically go in one ring, and look at that, we are making sort of a stepped area. It's not why the town's called Steps, it's actually called Steps because that was when we did the first sort of map bit, if you remember, if you were still alive back then. We actually largely made a staircase map, and so it felt like calling it, yeah, Steps Garden City. That's STEPPES. Yes, that's to make it haute couture. Now too thin to get a sort of another ring in there, so straight line. I've gone for a straight line. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to lower it just one more time, but only off to one side. If I lowered it on both sides, then that would be kind of cool, in as much as it would be okay, but then I wouldn't be able to put any buildings in it. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting some sand on the floor. Now the sand, some people, well, the guy who did, I'm assuming he's a guy, it could be a girl, but the person that did the YouTube video with a quarry put surface painter on, and I tried that yesterday in a little sort of experiment, and it was alright, but I found the annoying thing was that it took that stuff on the sides. You see those little sort of cliff type textures on the side, completely surface painted over those. Didn't really work for me. So I've then just changing the road now to a nice little dirt track so that it makes it look all kind of thematic. And then I realized that, yep, well, the road kind of, the land doesn't quite work there, and so I spend a little bit of time just trying to fix it, and not really realizing that the fact that as soon as I'm going over to that point in the road there, it's going raised, that means that it's up in the air. But I do eventually figure it out, and I decide, oh, I'm going to come at it from the other angle. And I go, oh yeah, oh no, still didn't work. So eventually I just figure it out and get rid of that bit of road, and then look, yes, it's all sort of uncovered from behind it. And here we go, hook up that bit of road there, and then move that in. Okay, so the next bit to do is obviously to just flip through all of your menus, because you're still not that familiar with all the new stuff and where it goes. I can barely keep up with vanilla, but here I've put some rocks in because it's a quarry, so yeah, stones feels like the right thing to put in. And then we just put some around the bottom, you know, it's where they've done the least refinement. Started at putting some individual rocks, and then it was like, no, they're like black lumps of coal, why would I want those in? So then the next thing to do is to make, well, to connect up the roads, really. You got to soften the old material there, and then build a slope. Yep, the slope, and the slope's got to basically you end up faffing around with the fact that your stuff doesn't quite the roads don't have the terraforming, and then you faff around until you actually realize that you should just give up, and instead of building a bridge, just get to the raise and lower bit. The slope's gonna work, but actually you just end up going around the sides. And the next 2 times I do this, I think I even give it up here. There we go. Now I'm like, no, bored. Right, now this giant, yeah, let's get him in. And bridge again. Get rid of the bridge. There, and it's gonna be there for a little while until I figure out how to just give up and go somewhere else. There we go. So what we then eventually did is we did that 2 more times. So we've got some I just went straight in for the kill there, just like, right, yep, lower it and just put the stuff in. I was about to do it here, but then I think I went, no, I'm gonna actually, while I'm up here, I'm gonna change the road. I'm gonna make it look slightly industrial, get rid of the one-way system. Realise I've now actually just made myself a bridge because I've gotten rid of the land, but never mind, because that looks industrial. Yeah, so now all we need to do, smooth that down, use a slope, put another bit of road in. Go on, son, do the dirt track. It's lovely. Trucks will go down that, they'll love that. And then just siphon off the bits to the side. But then, you need the main entrance. So as I've got that, I've got to get rid of that bit of blocked off road. I may as well, just whilst there's no road, bring the slope down. So smoothing it off, and then make the dirt track go down there. And then the last thing I did, apart from smoothing that off, was then connect that up to the start. Zone. Sorry, I've got to zone it because I've fixed my zones now, haven't I? Yes. Got to check out because I've put some stuff around the edge. I've slightly overlapped the edge of the road there, and I was wondering why I didn't have any buildings commercial, non-industrial buildings. That's because I fixed the terrain bit, the themes thing, but I've obviously had a little bit of overlap there. So then it's just calling it something, or what should we call it? Let's call it West Quarry, because you know what? Let's ask YouTube if there's a better name for the quarry. Stick it in the comments. Comments aren't there just there for swearing and telling me how bad I am at this game and YouTube and interneting. But generally, we then stick on all the industrial areas, and the thing is, as high as my demand is for industrial areas right now, by the time I put this in, and there are a few made, really, I haven't filled up this quarry yet, and I've been playing for another 35 minutes after this. So to be honest, there's not enough demand here. So I come to the end of the video, but then what I did, just raise the land a little bit, put some power around the edge because it will take some while to get to those windmills, especially if it builds from the other end, and then I just start putting a couple of small houses around the outside because, as you may know, cities is a bit unforgiving. Even if you put good transport networks in, stuff like this far away, to be honest, these houses may or may not do all of this travelling to get to the industrial area. So put some houses right next to it and then see where it goes. So we're going to leave it there. Come back in the next episode and you can see whether anything's actually been built. But I think I'll need to put some more housing nearby to really beef this up. Okay, thank you.